Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, and yes, that's right. You read the title. We're now finally up to reviewing this, and unfortunately, because, well, I considered Little Blue joining me reviewing this, but unfortunately, couldn't work things out, and he's too busy, so it's just me. So, yep, it's just me solo reviewing The Avengers. Yes, The Avengers. This was it, guys. This was the moment that everybody was waiting for. Ever since the end credit scene of the first Iron Man film, when Nick Fury had the last lines of the film where he said to Tony Stark, "I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative." And thus, they were teasing that we were going to get the Avengers. And it didn't take that long. Just a few years passing by, we would get another Iron Man film, we got The Incredible Hulk, we got Iron Man 2, then the next two Marvel films would be, of course, Thor and Captain America, then we would get The Avengers. Yes. In 2012, we got The Avengers, and celebrating its anniversary. Wow, Of course, with the cast of characters, Iron Man / Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., Captain America / Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans, the return of Black Widow / Natasha Romanoff, Scarlett Johansson, Thor, Chris Hemsworth, and two newcomers, the return of Hulk / Bruce Wayne, this time being played by Mark Ruffalo, and Clint Barton, Hawkeye, / Hawkeye, I should say, Jeremy Renner, yeah. And ever since the first Avengers film, because Mark Ruffalo has been, Hulk ever since, and which he should have been from the beginning, because I probably did mention this, when I reviewed, The Incredible Hulk, but anyways, so I can't remember, I need to go back and look, either it was just me or Little Blue did join me. I don't think he did, no. But anyways, and the villain that they face off against, of course, being the return of Thor's evil adoptive brother, Loki, Tom Hiddleston. And of course, with the addition of Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, Maria Hill, Kobe Smulders, I think I said her last name right, and Clark Gregg as Agent Phil Coulson, and Pepper Potts in there as well, and the professor from the first Thor film in the film as well, and Loki, puts a spell on both the professor and Hawkeye at one point, and also Jarvis in there as well. Just everything about the first Avengers film was fantastic because everybody is in this. The first batch of heroes of the MCU are together in one movie, and their interactions are pretty funny, from Steve and Tony, and, with Thor, does Mother know you wear her drapes, and, after, they kind of fight, Captain America, Iron Man versus Thor, are we done here? And, even, say, Tony Stark saying a bunch of stuff, gotta mean swing, he says that to Thor. That man's playing Galactus, Galactica, I think that's how you say it. And I like this one part because, we're so many things that they're referencing, and Steve Rogers, he only gets one, and that's flying monkeys. I know that reference. The Wizard of Oz, yeah. And we actually see one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. crew members on the helicarrier playing Galactica. So, Galactica? Galactus? Galactica? I think it's Galactica, yeah, if I'm saying that word right. But anyways, and when Loki at one point is trying to get to the Hulk, and even say we see the Hulk, of course. Even when earlier, everybody was kind of arguing, and of course the big battle that takes place in New York City, and where with the professor being hypnotized by Loki, and up top the Stark Tower unleashing a portal from space to New York. And even at one point, the board of directors wanting to launch a missile at New York, but of course preventing that from happening. But, when a missile does make its way, Fury tells Iron Man to get that missile. And did I forget to mention that earlier in the film, Coulson does get killed by Loki, but sometime after the Avengers movie, we would, of course, get Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Coulson was resurrected. They managed to save him. I really forget how they did that, to be honest. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah. And then the next time we would get an appearance of Coulson in the movies was in Captain Marvel. Yeah, but of course we're going to get to Captain Marvel very later on, so anyways. Some of the dialogue in this, like, when, like, what Tony says to Loki, you know, reindeer games, and, you know, Loki says, you know, I have an army, and Tony's like, we have a Hulk. Yeah, and even when he first interacts with Bruce Wayne, you know, I'm a huge fan of the way you turn into a psychotic green monster, and, you know, Bruce is just like, thanks. Yeah, and, you know, Tony and Bruce, of course, working together, because, you know, with the technology and so on, and, yeah, oh yeah, this time, because Natasha's hair was short this time. Like, she had long hair when she made her debut in Iron Man 2. I'm trying to remember what else. Oh yeah, that one scene where, you know, because, when the Hulk fell to the ground and he hit this building, and God, I forget what's his face, but, you know, a late great legendary actor, because he's playing this, I guess, security guard or something, you know, like, you scared the hell out of pigeons. It's funny, and, you know, buck-ass Newt. It's hilarious, and even asking him, are you an alien from outer space? Are you an alien? And no, of course he's not. It's pretty funny. And here's another thing, because a couple of our other cameos we get, like, yeah, Ashley Johnson made a cameo in this as a waitress when, you know, she was rescued by Captain America. Ashley Johnson would be best known, say, for the Last of Us games, and Recess. Yeah, as the voice of Gretchen, you know, with the braces. Yeah, Gretchen. So yeah, I remember. Yeah, Gretchen. And Stan Lee's cameo, I should say. Yeah, good old Stan Lee. And, well, that's another thing, because, well, before I mention Stan Lee very quickly, because some other funny stuff that happens, like, well, when Bruce meets up with them, like, he rides on a motorcycle, and, you know, when I think, yeah, Steve tells him to, you know, now be a good time to get angry, and Bruce is like, that's the secret. That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry. And when Captain America, like, has them, like, spread out and what they should do, you know, when he turns to Hawk, you know, he says, Hawk, smash. And Hawk has a smile, because that's Hawk's thing, of course. He smashes things. And especially also when Tony says to them, you know, guys, I'm bringing the party to you. And Natasha's like, I don't see that, how that's a party. Yeah. And when Steve tells, like, the cops to, you know, get men in the buildings, blah, 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 and, like, you know, why should I take orders from you? And when a couple of Loki's soldiers, like, attack Steve Rogers, you know, that's when the policeman listens to Steve. It's funny. Did I forget to mention also that, well, there's a lot that ties into this. Like, you know, first off, if as we remember in the Hawkeye series, you know, Kate Bishop being tied into that, and Hawkeye saved her at one point during the attack, and the aftermath of the Avengers, the attack of New York. Well, you know, Tony, he does get the missile up into space. He calls Pepper Potts at one point, but of course, you know, she's really focusing on the TV, that's, you know, because she's on an airplane, and, like, Tony loses his power when he goes into space, but he manages to survive when he comes back into, you know, orbit, you know, into New York. Hulk saves him, and he's unconscious, but, like, Hulk roars at him and just, you know, please tell me nobody kissed me. It's funny. And, oh gosh, I almost forgot to mention this. When Hulk smashed Loki around like a rag doll. Hilarious. And, you know, Hawk's only his one line, puny god. And Loki's just sitting there and he's just inhaling, you know what I'm saying, like, I I think I did it pretty good. Yeah. So he's just sitting there. He's sitting there for quite a while after what the heck happened to him. Oh yeah, and because remember, because well, when Hawk went on a rampage on the helicarrier, Thor was fighting him, and when like during the New York battle sequence, when they're on top of that like snake-like creature, and when it crashes into the building, I think it's Grand Central. I think it's the Grand Central Station. Yeah, and you know when it crashes, and then then at one point Hawk just like punches Thor, payback. I guess I don't know. I think my parents established like what that meant. What like probably was that. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, and the aftermath, because Loki is of course defeated, and I think I'll have that drink, as it was kind of mentioned earlier when the talk between Loki and Tony, and again, like and on the TV, like news reports of people, what they think of the Avengers, and again Stan Lee's cameo, where we see Stan Lee and he's like, superheroes in New York, give me a break. And we get another appearance of Ashley Johnson as the waitress, Captain America saved my life, and wherever he is, blah, blah, blah. The aftermath, like the epilogue, like the Avengers like kind of go in their separate ways, and until they team up again, etc. And also, because, yeah, it was, of course, teased in the film, and, Loki being sent to attack New York and Earth, of course. The first end credit scene, during the credits, we get an appearance of Thanos and a tease for him going to take on the Avengers very soon. That was really cool. And the final end credit scene. In fact, this, as we all know, like this was filmed right after like the Avengers premiered, and it's the Avengers, all the Avengers members, having shawarma. It's just them eating. That's it. And and even like you can see this. Yeah, Steve, he's just like very tired, just like that. Actually, the reason, because there's a good reason why he's like tired, and just like that with his arm on his face, because it's he is covering his face, and that's Chris Evans was growing a beard for a movie that he was going to be shooting, and so they had to like kind of cover his face. They did use something to like cover his face, but he still had to put his arm on his face, which that's okay, because Captain America just simply being tired, and the Avengers is fantastic, and I give this a 10 out of 10 for sure. And you guys let me know what you think of the first Avengers film, what you thought of my review. Leave comments and give this review a like, as always. And yes, of course I'm gonna review the next up the other 3 Avengers films, okay? But I'm still reviewing the MCU films in order. So you'll know we all know what's next, and that will be, of course, Iron Man 3, but that's going to come in a little bit later, okay? So we're not getting to that yet. So again, 10 out of 10 for the Avengers. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Avengers. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And stay tuned later tonight, where we are going back to the world of, oh boy, how do I not like give this away, well, okay, it's a continental drift. You might know what I'm talking about, if you do, and for those of you that don't, just stay tuned for that. And with one of my friends once again returning to review the next film in the ice world, you may know what I'm talking about. Stay tuned for that again later tonight. Take care, and peace out. And Avengers, assemble.